Hey YouTube, what goes on? Welcome to This About Action Figures live at 7:05, our weekly live stream where we rip open some plastic, toss away the boxes, talk about action figures, pop culture, all the great things, all the things that we bought, all the things that you bought here on Live 7:05. So it's been well documented. We've been having some difficulty with our audio over the last few weeks. We have done numerous audio tests. Last night, we finally had a successful test where wearing my Beats headphones, along with some adjustment to the settings on StreamYard, allowed us to go live tonight. So I will throw this out there, this one little piece of information, just in case it occurs. The audio problems we were having in the past were happening around the 6-minute mark. Last night we got past it. We went 15 minutes, no issues with the headphones in. My voice will sound slightly different because of the headphones being in tonight. I do apologize for that. We're going to try to fix the internal situation moving forward. But tonight it's all about Doctor Strange 2, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm so friggin' pumped. I have not been this pumped in a long time for a film. I'm so freaking jacked up, ready to go. I'm telling you right now, if that weird scuttle sound does start, I'm plowing through. I don't think it will, but we're going to give it a shot just in case. I have been just amassing clearance MCU, clearance Fox, clearance Sony, Marvel Legends for, I'd say, years at this point. And they've just been sitting in a box, and this is the perfect opportunity to interact with all of you, talk about this amazing movie coming out tomorrow evening. I'm seeing it right after work, so I'm super jacked up. And the big thing with this movie is going to be, who are the freaking cameos? Who's going to be in this thing? We already know who's in the trailers, okay? And by the way, let's get the rules out there right away. Please, no direct spoilers, okay? If you have heard of something or someone who might be in the film from a spoiler chat room or whatever, please don't ruin it, okay? We're going strictly on predictions here. And also, we are going to be spoiling any of the trailers that have been on. So we do know from the trailers there have been some pretty crazy reveals as to characters from throughout the multiverse that are appearing in this film, okay? So again, if you're not the type of person who watches trailers, you avoid them. You're going to want to watch this after you see Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness. We're going to get right into this. This is the Doctor Strange right here from the Spider-Man No Way Home line. I picked him up recently as I did want an MCU Doctor Strange. I've never had an MCU Doctor Strange, so I wanted one for this great occasion. It's been on my shelf the entire week. I know there's also one out with the actual Doctor Strange wave. I opted to go with this because I wanted to build Armadillo eventually anyway. So basically, we're going to get right into this. I'm going to interact with all of you. I kind of did try to make somewhat of an agenda here to keep this somewhat organized because there are so many different possibilities for this film. So we will go through that, and then each time I put a figure up there on the rotating base, we'll have a discussion, we'll talk about it, and kind of see what everybody has to think about it. So let me get our first figure up there that we are unboxing. And one of the things we know from the trailers is that we are getting alternate versions of Doctor Strange, right? It's multiversal. Doctor Strange is showing up in this film. That has been in all the trailers. This is the Target Defender Strange exclusive. I like the outfit because it is a Doctor Strange Defenders version from the comics with the Cumberbatch head. Got it on clearance for $15. Before we rip into that, let's see who's here in the chat. I'm so excited. This is probably the most excited I've been for a live episode of 5 in a long time. Really hoping after 6 minutes I don't get scratchy. Who's here? Mama said, pop you out. The best name in all of social media history is here. Dark Joker's in is here. Dante, sir, thank you for your input on trying to get my StreamYard situation squared away. Let's hope that the headphones and the other options do the trick tonight. We'll know in about 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Roundhead K2000's in the house. PA Coalition is here. Four Feathers giving us the heads up. And, of course, the toast. How you doing, Four Feathers? What is up, good sir? Roundhead says, we don't need no stinking boxes. Dude, I've probably thrown away, I'd say around 200 empty boxes over the last probably 2 weeks. It just had to happen. It was taking up a whole section of the house. More room for plastic rather than cardboard. RL is in the house. RL, how you doing, sir? What is going on? 15 doll hairs. That's right, my friend. $15 for this thing right here. $15 a little man. Put that stuff in my hand. If you know what that's from, put it in the comments. Gone Toy Hunting is here. What's going on, sir? All right, so we have 17 people here in the chat currently. So hello to everybody. Feel free to interact if you're new to the channel. We love when people comment and interact. I'll try to showcase your comments while we go through. So what I'm going to ask you is, while we go through these figures, the opening salvo, if you will, as I said, these are all characters we know are confirmed in this film because of the trailers. After that, we're going to get crazy. We're going to get nutty. We're going to throw some other action figures up there from whether it's Disney Plus, whether it's Fox movies, whether it's Sony movies, whether it's anything, ABC TV shows, whatever it might be, as you saw in the thumbnail. I've got some interesting theories that I put together that I want to see if you agree with. And also let me know in the comments, what are you thinking? Who are you wanting to see in this movie as we go along? So each time I throw a figure up there, feel free to let me know what your thoughts are. What are the chances we're going to see that character show up in the film? All right, so getting right into this here. We got a lot of stuff to open. Opening up right away here with the Doctor Strange Defender. As I said before, let me get my cutting utensil. We're not screwing around there. We're jumping right into this. Love this fire effect. I should say, I would say fire effect, portal effect we're getting with this. Cards on the table. I may not have spent the full amount of money to get this. I did buy it full amount, but I took it back, obviously, when I got this this discount on this. I don't know if this is worth the 30 odd dollars they were charging. However, I will say that for 15, I'll take it all day. So if you were curious, they do have the Strange in a separate casing. So there is our Strange right there in the bubble, which I'm guessing that's also going by the wayside pretty soon with the changes at Hasbro. But then in addition to that, that's going to be such a mess in here. It's going to be awesome, and I have to clean this later on. We do get the portal effect. And I know a lot of people were picking this up because of the portal effect. So there is the portal effect. It comes in a separate tray. This thing is so many possibilities to be used. I freaking dig this. I would have said, if I would have found another one for 15, I probably would have picked it up to have multiple portal effects. But we already know that this version of Doctor Strange is in the film. It is confirmed, okay? So we are seeing him in the film. We know this already from the trailers. Now, the big question is going to be, how much of a part of the film is he going to play? Marvel's done this before, where they've made it look like a character had a significant role in a film. And all of a sudden, they're killed off extremely early in that film, right? So we don't know for sure how long this Defender Strange. In fact, they've even gone as far to show in the trailer him possibly sacrificing himself to help America Chavez, right? This is a very nice figure. They do have pinless elbows on this thing. I'm not going full-blow reviewer here, but just showing you there, the pinless elbows are nice. They're getting very good with those. We do get the spell casting hands. I love the hair, the gray going in the back. The ponytail is phenomenal. You don't really see that much in the trailer. You really don't see it much on camera, but there that is. So this guy's phenomenal. We know he's going to be in the film. It is a definite. He looks great in front of that portal effect. We'll be using that portal effect throughout the evening. Don't get me wrong. So I'm going to go pretty quickly through these guys. So everybody, we know he is confirmed. He's in the movie. He's in the trailer. It'll just be a matter of how long he survives on camera. We don't know that quite yet. This freaking table is going to be so filled with people with characters and figures by the end. It's going to be insane. All right, so let's put it back there out of the way for now. All right, so next confirmation that we know is it. Okay, not quite a confirmation, but a version, we'll say, is going to be, boom, Doctor Strange Supreme. This is all dusty. You can tell I've had it for a while. Here's the thing, right? They have come out and said, this is not necessarily the character from What If. And if you watch the What If series on Disney Plus, I enjoyed it. It was animated. Whether or not this is the exact character from What If is up for question. But if you haven't seen What If, essentially spoilers, this version of Doctor Strange made some bad choices along the way, alternate origin story, and he more or less becomes evil. He's somewhat redeemed in the end, blah, 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 right? But we know this guy is definitely going to be not this guy, but a version of this guy, more or less, will be in the film. One big thing they've said about this movie is that a lot of these characters are going to be versions of characters we've seen, which we'll talk more about that momentarily. Other characters we've seen in the trailer. So this is the Strange Supreme. I honestly was going to sit this guy out. I ordered him the minute I walked out of seeing Spider-Man, because they did show that kind of sinister version of evil Doctor Strange, if you want to call him that, in the sizzle reel, in the post-credit scene. So I did pick this up. RL, that is great, my friend. Snooch to the booch. That's right, man. Snoochy boochies. Hey, Greg Miller's here. What's going on, Greg? So we are going to see a version of him where it's the evil, sinister, kind of skeezy looking Doctor Strange that's going to show up. So let's get him quickly here out of the packaging. Again, I'm not trying to move quick with these figures because I want to get through all these confirmed cameos or confirmed characters, and then get to the fun stuff where we can speculate and start to think who's going to show up from the rest of the Marvel universe. So I'm not going to go showing off too much with this guy. I'm not going to get into the extra effects and whatnot. I will grab his cape real quick here, and I'll throw that on his back. Interesting with the cape, there is a peg. I've been told you may not need the peg on the back. So let's see really quickly here. If we could peg that in to make it look better, I don't know, we'll see. So kind of a crazy cape on this guy. Again, similar mold for Doctor Strange for the character. So there he is right there. So we'll get one rotation with him. Great cape, I will add that. This is definitely a different looking cape for him. But we're getting the sinister evil version of Doctor Strange. Whether or not they retcon that to being the What If Strange or not, we'll find out when we see the film. So let me know, guys, what do you think? Is it going to be this version of Doctor Strange from What If? Or is it going to be just another sinister version of him? Let me know what you think in the comments. Forfeather says, looks like the Doctor Strange Supreme. He must have. Yeah, he's worth picking up. If you can get him on a clearance price, even better, obviously. I always say with these MCU figures, you hold out long enough, you're normally going to find them somewhere on clearance. I've been stepping back from MCU figures. I tend to only get them when they're on clearance, or if it's a character that I've always wanted that I never had the opportunity to get. So, for instance, the young Groot, the teenage Groot, I'll be picking that up. So we know he's in the film. It is confirmed, okay? At least a version of him. Now, if you've paid attention closely, we also have it confirmed that Sharon Carter, aka Captain Carter from the What If cartoon series, is in a battle scene holding her shield. Okay. I think that's great. I think it's awesome that we can get to see a live action version of her, hopefully, in this film. This is the Target exclusive, I believe. At least it started that way. I know some Target exclusives are finding their ways to third-party sites now. Got it for $6 or 6 and change. So again, clearance figure right here. We know she's in the film. She's confirmed. Now, again, here's the thing. It's a version of Captain Carter, okay? We don't know 100% if they're going to allude to us that she is the Captain Carter from the cartoon. Because remember, now that we're dealing with all the fallout from the Loki series, we know that there are multiple variants of all these characters out there. So there's a possibility that there is another Peggy Carter that became Captain Carter who's floating around out there somewhere, or multiple versions of her, right? So we don't know for sure if it's going to be her. We know it's a version of her. So again, I picked this up anyway. For me, that's close enough, especially for that clearance price that I got her at. But I think it's an amazing character. I think they did a great job of developing her character into being the leader in What If of those different basically the multiversal Avengers that they're referred to as. I don't know if we'll get her to stand or not. We'll give it a shot here real quick. But for our purposes tonight, we're not necessarily looking to get a full 360 if we don't need it. So she's confirmed, a version of her. We saw the shield. It was on there. It was in the trailer. We know we're getting some version of her. Prediction, she's probably working with the Illuminati, which they were finally name dropped recently by Baron Mordo in the most recent TV trailer. We'll get more to the Illuminati next, okay? So we do have her popping up. She will be in some capacity showing up. This is filling up quick here, my God, in the movie. So we will have her at some point showing up as well. All right, so now we're getting to the fun stuff, okay? Now we're getting to the stuff I'm really excited about. She needs a jetpack. That would be freaking awesome. Yeah, sorry, Peggy Carter, not Sharon Carter, my bad. So let's get into this. This is where it gets fun, okay? Obviously, we got the tease in the first trailer, and that was Xavier's voice, Sir Patrick Stewart, right? I got to work at the space I have here, guys. Then we actually get to see his arm. First, he says, no, I'm not in it. Then he says, I might be in it. Then he says, it might be my voice. I don't know. Finally, they confirm that Sir Patrick Stewart is playing a version of freaking Charles Xavier. Oh my God, I'm so freaking pumped. Four feathers, don't worry, sir. We're going to get that at Hydra Stomper. We're going to get to that for sure. We know we're getting a version of Charles Xavier. Most recently, they did show it in a trailer. And I said I will spoil trailer spots here. I won't spoil anything else. Where they show him in a freaking yellow, old school X-Men hover chair. I have the X-Men hover chair with Xavier in my X-Men display. I didn't get it out because there's so much plastic on this desk already, okay? But I'm so excited. We're going to see him as possibly the leader of the Illuminati. I loved this 2-pack. As you see right here, again, if I'm buying MCU figures, they're usually coming on a discount. $14.99 I picked these up for a ways back, a couple years ago. what can I say? I hoard things, right? Now, the big question is, and we'll get to this later as well, lots of segments tonight. Do you think we'll get other X-Men? We'll come back to that, put a pin in it, save your X-Men comments if you don't mind, till a little bit later on. But I really am curious, how much of the X-Men are they going to give us here? Are they going to, tease it out for a while? Is all we're going to get is Xavier? Are we getting any explanations as to why he is there? Is it going to be the actual animated Xavier? Are they going to go that route and say that it's legit him? Are they going to say it just looks like the animated Xavier from the X-Men cartoon? One thing I do want to add is, as we get deeper into this video, I tend to forget that I'm getting old. I'm getting long in the tooth, right? And I tend to forget that there are younger viewers who don't even realize sometimes that these older films came out in the past, right? Of course, I'm having trouble getting the friggin' head on there. I don't know if we're going to get it on, guys. We have to heat this sucker up later on. It's been in this box for so damn long. That's a shame, okay? So, yeah, the X-Men originally came out around the year 2000. And before all of the recent versions, like Days of Future Past, we had all these other older X-Men movies that people around my age grew up on. X-Men 1, X-Men 2, X-Men 3. X-Men 3, we trying to think about too much. It kind of was the best film. But they did give us Kelsey Grammer Beast, which was great. Here we go. We got him going on here. So this is our Charles Xavier. We are getting Sir Patrick Stewart in this film. He is on the, I don't really like this body, the suited body. It's very hard to get him to obviously stand. So what I'm going to do is, they did pack this in with the wheelchair from one of the original Xaviers from a ways back. But again, he is the leader of the X-Men. If you didn't know that and you are a relatively younger fan in the MCU franchise, so that was a huge freaking deal, seeing him turning up where he did. So again, very good possibility this could be leading to seeing more X-Men down the road. Very interesting how they put this wheelchair in here, actually. They kind of put it in pieces, almost like a little Build-A-Figure, which is kind of cool. But we are confirmed. We're getting him. We are definitely going to have him in the movie. Again, they've all but shown him, other than showing his face at this point in time. So we are going to get him in this movie, which is very, very, again, very pumped up for me. I'm very excited about that. So again, that leads us to believe in a few minutes we'll get to talking about the X-Men and what X-Men characters are possibly going to be showing up, if at all, as this thing moves forward, right? So here we go. Let's get the more movie version wheelchair put together here. All right, there we go. And again, I believe that they did use this with the original Galactus release of Xavier, or a very similar one. I have that behind me as well on my shelf. That was the Xavier I had before they came out with the hover chair version, and then this one. I love how in this pack, just really quick, that they put in the multiple heads. You can have basically each actor that portrayed them. And that's where this gets fun, because you can have multiple Xaviers. You could have this Xavier. You could have the Xavier that was played by McAvoy, I believe it was, in the other X-Men movie. So all these things are very possible to occur. Gone Tointing says Target has some great clearances right now. Anna J for what? You got Anna J for $7, dude? That is sick. Freaking insane. Greg says, what if it's Patrick Stewart as Jean-Luc Picard, bringing some Star Trek into this thing, right? RL says, people think it's the Professor X from the 97. Dude, if it is, it'd be freaking incredible. Obviously, they're certainly make us look like it. Hey, what's going on, Brian? Weren't they talking about X-Men 97 being canon? They are. That's out there, especially with the cartoon coming back now, right? Four Feather says, damn, now you're making me feel old. I love, dude, those X-Men movies were the bomb. Even the third one, I liked it for what it was. I'm a juggernaut, bitch. You gotta love it. Greg says he loved all the X-Men movies. I did too. We're going to be getting a, getting this coming back hopefully here. RL says, Brian, I heard the What If series is canon as well. Yeah, I mean, right now, this is the point. DC did this with The Flash, right? And let's not talk about Ezra Miller, okay? He might try to beat me up if he's not in jail. But here's the thing. Everything can be canon now. They proved this with the Spider-Man film. Everything can be canon. That's why when we get into the later part of this video, it's going to get a lot of fun. Greg says, I remember when you got that 2-pack, Tim. Yeah, Greg, I was so freaking pumped, man. Knowing what I know now that I didn't know then, I bet you somebody had that hidden under a shelf or something, and it was found by an employee, right? RL says, imagine if Infinity Ultron shows up. RL, it's on my list, dude. I kid you not. So we're definitely getting Charles Xavier, which is awesome. Now, before we get to the X-Men conversation, which to me is one of the most fun parts of this talk, right? Excuse me. We have to talk about the Illuminati. Now, if you don't know who the Illuminati are, Jonathan Hickman created the Illuminati in the Marvel Comics universe. The Illuminati were a group of basically some of the most important leaders and people in the Marvel Comics. In the comic book, Professor Xavier was in the group. And if you didn't know this, Xavier in the comic was a bit of a DICK. He was a bit of a jerk in the comic books. He was not portrayed as nicely as he was a lot of times in the cartoon. But Xavier was on that team. Black Panther, Namor, Doctor Strange, eventually Captain America, but he got kicked out because he was too nice of a guy. There were so many people in the Illuminati group. And basically, they took a big stage during Secret Invasion, okay? If you haven't read Secret Invasion or the Illuminati stuff, go back and check it out. Hickman's run is just bonkers with the Illuminati. So, the question remains. We're getting the Illuminati in this film. But are we going to get characters we haven't seen yet? Or are we just going to get versions of characters we know exist from other universes, okay? Dark Trigger Zen says, R-Truth shows up chasing the 24/7. Dude, anything can happen in this freaking movie, right? T3 Collects is here. What's going on, T3? I'm really enjoying your new content, man, on the toy hunts. He says Black Bolt apparently is confirmed from the Horrible Inhumans ABC TV show. Now, one thing I would say, T3 Collects, that was not in the trailer. If he shows up in this, then I think it'd be cool. I watched that show. It was dog crap, but I still watched it. If they're not in the trailer, I don't want to get into saying I've heard. You know, I don't want to say I've heard so-and-so's in the movie. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. So it's okay because that may not be confirmed. I know he wasn't in the trailer yet. You're welcome, sir. But here's the thing. We have Xavier, okay? We know he's an Illuminati member in this film. Let's put him by Logan. He belongs there, right? But here's the thing. Guess who else is in the Illuminati in the comic books? Frickin' Iron Man. He was in the Illuminati. Guess who else is in the Illuminati in the comic book, rather? Friggin' Namor. And we know we're getting Namor in Black Panther 2. Okay? Now, this is where it really gets crazy, okay? If you didn't know this, and this is where I'm getting pumped, Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards himself, was in the Illuminati. He was one of the main members in the Illuminati, okay? With respect to the Black Panther and what's going on with that film, and obviously R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, I didn't put a Black Panther character up here, okay? But we're getting Namor eventually. We're getting Fantastic Four eventually, although they did just lose their director, which kind of stinks. We might see these guys in the freaking Illuminati. I can't freaking wait. James, aka Ratface44, what's going on, dude? He is killing it getting them G.I. Joes, man. T3 says, I'm excited for Captain Carter. Greg says, how do you handle it? I don't know. RL says, yes, bring in the Fantastic Four. Effing Fantastic Four, the extra F, right? So here's my prediction, okay? I think we're getting a version of Namor. It'll be the first time we see him. Now, it may not be our Namor, okay? It may not be our Submariner, but it'll be a version of him that is setting up Black Panther 2, okay? I don't know if we're going to get a Reed Richards. I'm really, 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 really hoping we get a Reed Richards in this film. I'm not holding my breath, though, okay? Now, here's the thing. We might get a Reed Richards from the Fox movies. If they paraded somebody out there from the first two Fantastic Four movies, I don't know the actor's name offhand. If you know, please put it in the comments. I would love to see an alternate version of Reed Richards that's not the version in our universe for the MCU. Same thing with Namor, right? But here's where it gets trippy, right? There have been rumors for years, and this is not a rumor like a spoiler. This is just a rumor. There have been rumors for years that Tom Cruise was going to play Iron Man in a version of the Avengers, okay? Tom Cruise, the Tom Cruise, right? Maverick, right? I think there's a possibility we're going to get Tom Cruise as a version of Iron Man in this movie. I think it might happen, okay? I know it sounds insane, but think about it, right? Is Tom Cruise that much of a departure from how they got Sylvester Stallone into the MCU? Okay, I know Cruise might be a bigger star. We can argue that another time, but they could have swung this. They could have pulled it off. And again, I put that picture in my thumbnail. It's been speculated for years. And what a better way to work in such a top tier, well-known actor than to put him in a bit part as a version of Iron Man on the Illuminati. You never have to bring him back ever again. That could be a one and done for him, right? It won't be expected to actually have him in it that often. This is where it gets fun, right? All this different stuff we could do. All right, so that's my take on the Illuminati, okay? We also know we get the alternate version of Baron Mordo. I don't think that's the Mordo from the actual Doctor Strange universe because I don't think he'd be in that position of power. But I have one more, and somebody brought this guy up earlier. I have one more possibility for the Illuminati in this film. And this is not the version from What If, but there's a possibility if we don't get Tom Cruise Iron Man, we get freaking Ultron. Boom. Okay, somebody mentioned it earlier on that we might get Ultron in this thing. We have the Ultron robots, obviously, the Iron Fleet, or whatever the heck they call it from Iron Man. Um, we see them in the trailer. So either Tony Stark made those, or frickin' Iron, or a version of Ultron made those. Okay, if we get a version of Ultron working with the Illuminati, mind frickin' blown. That's all I have to say right there. Greg says John Krasinski, dude. I'm hoping he's going to get to be the director and Reed Richards in the main film, and then also his wife plays Invisible Woman. I've been hoping for that for years, like most people have, right? They freaking basically made John Krasinski's face Reed Richards in the comic book, right? So it could very well happen. Art G is in the house. Art G, what's going on, good sir? How are you doing, buddy? T3 Collect says in the trailer, if you slow it down, you can see a blue elastic body. Ooh, now we're getting deep in the weeds, my friend. We're getting deep in the weeds. All right, so that's my Illuminati talk. Okay, who knows? Some people have even speculated there's somebody carrying a sword in the trailer for the Illuminati. I don't think this can happen, but this takes us right into our next conversation. Could Blade be in this movie? Could we get Wesley frickin' Snipes? Could we get Snipes in this movie showing us that the original Blade trilogy, again, third movie, not the best, but I still liked it. Wesley Snipes Blade in this movie. Give me Wesley Snipes Blade. We already know that Blade is coming. Mahershala Ali is going to play him. He had his voice at the end of the Eternals. It could happen. It could happen. That's all I'm saying, right? Mama said, Poppy said, what about Black Bolt? Yeah, somebody said earlier, I think it was RL, or not RL. I think it was, who said it? T3 said, we might get the Virgin from the TV show. Why not? Bring him out there and kill him. And then we don't have to worry about seeing him in the movies, right? There's just so many possibilities here. Mom Sapapi said there was an Inhuman TV show. Yep, it was on ABC. It was awful. They tried to tie it in using IMAX, and it went horribly. I watched it. I'll say this much. I watched the Inhumans. I did not watch the Eternals. What does that tell you? By the way, nobody has said my voice is scratchy. Is it because you're really nice to me, or because my voice is not scratchy? Because by now, it would be scratchy if we had issues. RL says, I think it's Peggy or Blade. Oh, man. Well, the fact that they show Peggy in the trailer, she's definitely working with the Illuminati. So is she on the Illuminati? Is she a soldier? I don't know. T3 says that would be awesome to see Blade. Oh my God, I would lose my mind if we see him showing up. Greg says Snipes will definitely not be in the movie. All right, Greg, I probably agree with you, but let's throw it out there. We got to put all cards on the table and consider it here. Forfeather says, would love to see Wesley Snipes Blade. Love those movies. Dude, you could argue that the Blade movies are the reason we have the MCU. You could easily make that argument because Blade 1 and Blade 2 were freaking phenomenal, and they got people paying attention to Marvel, right? Greg says, prediction, movie will bomb and we'll be waiting for Eternals too. Yes, and also Walmart will also get rid of Marvel Legends at that point, right? All right, so we got to keep this moving. We got tons of stuff to get through, so I probably can't even fit all these dudes. And you know this is a Disavowed live stream. You know stuff is going to fall over. That's just how we do it here on Disavowed Action Figures. So if you haven't been here before, something will fall. I have no way to fit all these guys. We're not even through the unboxing section yet. So unfortunately, some of these characters are not going to get their due here. Iron Man's probably going to fall over anyway. So Namor, sorry, buddy, we got to kick you. By the way, go buy this. Go buy this now. It's very cheap. I got it at a premium at the Philly Toy Show years ago, Wizard World. Get this while you can, because this is a Walgreens exclusive, goes for not a lot of money. If you don't have that, you probably want it now. Just saying that, putting it out there. All right, so let's get into the friggin' X-Men, guys. Let's get into the frickin' X-Men. Thank you, Greg. It's all that water I've been drinking. All right, let's get into the X-Men. So you can't talk X-Men. You can't do it without wondering, is this when they pull the trigger? Is this when freaking Ryan Reynolds, freaking Deadpool, makes his first appearance in the MCU? We know Deadpool 3 is coming. It's confirmed. Excuse me. We know it's down the road. It's coming down the road, right? It's a multiversal movie. Why would you not go for that pop in the audience by showing us this guy? Okay? They got to do it. You got to give us Ryan Reynolds in this movie. Now, if they give us Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, what else is canon? Okay? What else are we going to get? Is there a possibility we don't just get Deadpool in this movie? Do we get his buddy, Cable? Yes, I still have this. This was $7 at Walmart. I got this for $7 at a Walmart. I actually helped some people out when I found them. I think I sent one out to Laser Pants, Pew Pew. So $7, had to get it. I've been hanging on to it forever. Here it is, right? T3 says, I hope we see Namor. I do too. Brian, I was thinking something a little bit stronger than that, but I would go with that persuasion, yes. Mama said, Pop You Out says, I think Charles will be the only X-Men character. Well, that's just it. Do we get Wolverine in the background, right? So we got to talk X-Men here. Let's get into it. Deadpool in the end credits scene would be very possible, very well placed as well. We'll get Charles and Reed from Fox. Oh man, I can't freaking wait. Deadpool will be in it. I would bet money on it. Archie's money. He's got a lot of it, right? Damn, dude, Deadpool will be awesome. Archie says, quick cameo of Deadpool while going through universes of him saying to Strange, who the F are. Yeah, exactly. You know, there was a really good comic book that I really enjoyed, Original Sin. Art, I think you read it. If anybody else read Original Sin, let me know in the comments. Original Sin, the premise, well, I won't get into the premise, I don't spoil it. But one of the cool things the writer and the artist were interested about was pairing together unlikely characters you don't see on panel together, like Punisher and Rocket Raccoon. They were literally on panel together in that comic book. So you have the possibility of just completely no-showing somebody, right? So how cool would it be if we get like Deadpool on screen with anybody important? Say Deadpool's on with Iron Man, right? And Deadpool just walks over and he's like, what, you're a big deal or something? Like that's what they can do here, right? You can have characters who we know are a big deal come walking out there and basically just completely big time somebody and be like, I don't know who this guy is. Why should I care, right? So do we get Cable in this movie? You know, does that open up the idea that we get him in this film? I don't know, but that's just it. It could. We could get Cable in this. What if Cable walks in and makes a joke about Thanos? I mean, so many things here that they can put out there. Yes, Archie, that is where it's the murder mystery for the Watcher. Absolutely love that book. Obviously, Nick Fury's in it, so that right there shows you that. All right, so if we have Deadpool and if we have Cable, do we get Domino? By the way, that says $11. This was $5. I got this for $5. I took the guns out forever ago. I don't even remember why. I think I wanted to see what they look like in Snake Eyes' hands. But $5 Domino, I bought that all day, right? Zazie Beetz, hoping we get her back in a Deadpool sequel. But what about her? I mean, she's literally, her power is luck. What if she just like falls out of a freaking plane and she lands like wherever the Illuminati are? Like, I know I'm like really geeking out here, but anything can happen. Like literally anything can happen in this situation where any of these characters can turn up either in this movie or, if you haven't heard, it sounds like what they're planning is a version of Secret Wars as their next giant main event down the road. You know, we could get everybody. You know, we saw what happened in Loki with how basically universes bleeding through in multiverses. We saw it happen in Spider-Man. It can happen. That's all I'm saying, right? T3 says hard to think they are going to pack a line. That's the problem, right? 2 hours and 6 minutes. You can't go cameo crazy. You got to tell a story too, right? Or else, imagine if Kang shows up. Dude, he's there for a reason, right? He's there for a reason. Luck isn't a superpower. I would say for her it was. All right, so let's get her up there and let's get Cable up here. So obviously we're not going to get all the weapons out for these guys and gals. Too many of them to go through. Let's see if they'll stand or not. But yet again, we could get these three, right? The trifecta here from Deadpool, either in this movie, and they're all going, right? They'll fall over. But it's coming, okay? Just be prepared. We might get it soon. Oh, man, we need Deadpool in this movie, right? It's got to happen. I am so waiting for all these to go flying over like freaking dominoes, man. It is certainly going to happen soon. Running out of space, running out of space, running out of space for my figs. All right, let's put her back here a little bit. And I think Cable's going to fall over. Let's put him to the side. I'm not taking any chances with him. All right, so X-Men, and I mentioned Wolverine. Do we see Wolverine in this movie? What about Hugh Jackman in a cameo? What about Hugh Jack? Okay, here's the thing, right? I'm not going to put him on the stand, but Jackman and Ryan Reynolds have said forever they want to do something together, right? He's been trying to convince him. Reynolds has been trying to convince Jackman to do this thing, right? What if, no pun intended, he comes around and says, post-credit scene, Wolverine and Deadpool talk to each other saying, boy, I'm glad we stayed out of this shit, huh? I mean, just think about that. I'm glad we stayed out of this shit. And that's how it ends. Like, that would be freaking hilarious. If that happens, by the way, I'm playing the lottery, okay? Because it could happen. That would be such a great way to use them in the post-credit scene, just basically making a joke, like, why are we even here, okay? So I'm throwing these out there, okay? Not even the Disney Plus, aka Netflix Daredevil. What if we get freaking Batfleck? What if we get another version of Daredevil? It could be Ben Affleck Daredevil. It could be any other version of Daredevil. Ghost Rider. We know that Blade and Moon Knight and Werewolf by Night, which is coming, are all going to be together eventually in a Midnight Suns probably movie or TV show. Okay. What if we see Ghost Rider? Dude, Nicolas Cage. If you didn't know this, Nicolas Cage played Ghost Rider twice. Also, we had a version of Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., okay? That could be made canon here, okay? So just the possibilities here. And here's the thing. I'm going to throw this out there right now. Temper the enthusiasm. I'm obviously all in here, okay? But I would say temper the enthusiasm so you're not let down if all these people don't show up, because we're not getting everybody. I mean, it just wouldn't be able to be hidden this long. We might get a lot more of these characters in Secret Wars down the road. However, keep the enthusiasm under control. I'll be freaking out for everybody, right? So many possibilities for Feathers. Completely agree. T3 Collect says Phil Coulson would be awesome to see for a quick cameo. Dude, they gotta bring him back, man. Please bring back Phil. And you know what? People hate on Agents of Shield. I personally loved it. I really enjoyed Agents of Shield. It was just I loved that show. I watched it from season one. I know there were ups and downs. When they got further away from the MCU, to me it got better. Okay. Greg says, I think your cameos will be who's in the Illuminati and Deadpool. I'd be cool with that too. I have heard they do throw you some crazy ones, okay? Um, Possibilities are completely endless. I completely agree. So I don't want to forget to mention this. I'm mentioning all these old movies, right? Put a four. Put a four in the comments right now if you've seen the original two Fantastic Four movies. Okay. If you didn't know this, again, showing my age, our Captain America, okay, I'm sorry, a current Captain America is Sam Wilson. Our former Captain America, Steve Rogers, Chris Evans, played Johnny freaking Storm. There's a reason that head sculpt's on there if you didn't know that. He was the Human Torch in the first two Fantastic Four movies. Forget about that awful one that was made by Josh Trank. We're going to forget that exists. If they put those characters out there on the screen, I'll probably walk out of the theater and I'll still stay, but I'll be pissed. Yeah, and it's the younger version. Okay, I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right now. I'm making the hardcore prediction. Money on the table. Greg Miller's money on the table. Okay, we're getting Chris Evans in this movie as the Human Torch. Put it in the bank. I'm calling it. If I'm wrong, I'll eat my words. I'm wrong all the time anyway. We're getting Chris Evans in this movie, but it's not him as Captain America. It's going to be freaking Johnny Storm. And that's their way of reminding us the FF are coming. It's their way of saying, yes, we know those movies exist. And more important, that we're ignoring the Josh Trank version. Okay. Lots of fours here in the chat. Lots of fours. So lots of people saw those original FF movies. Yeah, Greg, seriously, dude. Jay Girk the Collector is not here tonight. Good friend of the channel, good local friend of mine. We started a list like 7 years ago of all the actors and actresses who portrayed multiple comic book characters in different franchises. He's the king of it. He was a Fantastic Four, Johnny Storm. He obviously was Captain America. He was in a movie called The Losers, which I don't remember who made that. Art, you're a big comic book guy as well. What company wrote The Losers? Might have been Image. He also was in the original Snowpiercer movie. That's based on a trade paperback. He's been in 4 comic book franchises and probably more I'm forgetting, okay? Don't even get me going on Ben Affleck. Don't even get me going on some of these guys who are in multiple films, right? Our boy over here that played Thanos and Cable, okay? It's incredible stuff when you get into it. All right, so we've gotten through the Illuminati. We've gotten through the characters we know are in the film. We've gotten through the X-Men. We've gotten through the old Marvel Comics movies that were not interconnected necessarily, possibly until now. Let's talk a little bit more about What If, okay? What If has really done a lot to establish the different multiverses. This is probably not going to fit because of everything I've gone on back behind. Hydra Stomper. Do we get the Hydra Stomper in this movie? We're getting Peggy Carter. Are we going to get the Hydra Stomper? By the way, guys, if you didn't see my most recent toy hunt, or one of the most recent toy hunts, got this at GameStop, $34.99. Not bragging, just saying. Hold out, guys. Unless you need an MCU figure. Like these Thor figures, right? Unless you need it, and you don't want to take a chance on missing out, play the long game on these guys. And I know somebody's going to say, well, that doesn't help Hasbro and blah, 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 blah. They have so much money already. I'm sorry. I don't feel bad, okay? I buy all the comic book figures pretty much right away. Play the long game, save some money for yourself, and get these figures on a discount. So Hydra Stomper for 34 bucks, original 54. I'm paying that all freaking day. I'm just opening everything tonight. This is insanity. We're at 40 minutes, meaning we're about 20 minutes from AEW. If you're an AEW fan, this Hydra Stomper is gigantic. Holy crap. All this plastic for 35 bucks. Look at this. We have extra fist blast effects. Oh my God, this thing is freaking ginormous. All right, so let's get him out of the tray. Oh God, and they even had this back here. I didn't even know this came with it. I didn't even know that was in here. Oh my God, this is insane. Okay, so I'm gonna have such a mess to clean up, and I'm going right to see the movie tomorrow. So I'm not cleaning this up tonight, I'll tell you that. So I'm gonna have a mess sitting here till the weekend. All right, so this guy is ginormous. I heard he doesn't stand extremely well. I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like bigger characters do stand well because of the fact that they tend to have big bases to use. I guess you just can't get him in the very dynamic poses. There he is. I got to tilt the camera for this guy. If he falls, everything's going down with him, by the way. This guy is ginormous. Holy smokes. I'm not putting everything on him because there's just no space. In fact, I don't even think I'll be able to keep him up here on the camera, okay? But obviously, we do know that he is with Peggy. We know that it is Steve Rogers who was flying around in this thing, the young Steve Rogers that did not get the upgrade that Peggy obviously got instead. Obviously, they're all going to fall now. I just want to get them up here one time. There we go. So there they are. I'm going to just give this guy a bit of a spot here. They could be in this together. If you're having Peggy, why not have him show up? Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm sorry it cuts him off. He's a big, giant, beefy, freaking piece of plastic that for $35, I am taking all day, every day for that price. I would not have bought two though, because I don't think I would have needed two for any reason. But just saying. Okay, so do we get Hydra Stomper in this movie? What do you think, guys? Is there any chance we get Hydra Stomper showing up here? Let's check the stats here, see what's going on. And by the way, next we're going down the rabbit hole, guys. We're going down further into Loki. We're going into Loki. We're opening up Sylvie, okay? And I'll explain what she costs because there's a story there. What we got? The losers is DC. Thank you, James. I couldn't remember what it was. Fourth Feathers, no, I don't think so. RL says, oh shit, that would be epic, dude, right? Brian says, does Chris Evans show up as Skinny Steve? Oh, dude, what if he's in this movie twice? Skinny Steve and the Human Torch. Oh my God. I haven't seen a Stomper in store since I was at Disney Springs. Greg, that's where they had a ton of them, right? I think you said they were like stacked up. That would be very funny. I agree. T3 says, I missed that Hydra Stomper by 45 minutes. Ah, dude, that's harsh, man. Oh, gosh. Four Feather says, hell yeah, Hydra Stomper is awesome. I'd love to see it. I agree. That's a bummer. Keep looking, though. You never know. Four Feather says, got him on sale at GameStop. And he uses $5. That is, dare I say it, hashtag long game right there. Good job, Four Feathers. Save that money where you can, man. RL says, this about action figures. Do you have the other What If Peggy? I do not. I only bought this because it was on clearance. I wouldn't have bought this figure unless I got it on clearance. I'll be honest. I wasn't doing much of the What If unless I found it cheap somewhere. I did buy the Doctor Strange because I was a bit of a speculation thing. I was scared he'd shoot up in value when I saw he might be in that movie. So I was kind of worried about that one. Ali says, "What stores still What stores sell wrestling figures and only action figures?" It'd have to be a specialty store. You know, some specialty toy stores out there. Obviously, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, mostly toy stores online. Wrestling figures. I don't think there's many places that just have wrestling. If they have wrestling, they probably have other things. I know that there are a lot of stores like in the New York area that specialize in wrestling, but they do tend to have everything. My God, who here built the Watcher? I hated that it didn't look like the Watcher from the comic. I have the Marvel Select Watcher laying around somewhere. I love that. I got it down and at Toy and Comic Heaven in Willow Grove, PA. I didn't get this guy because he looked kind of tall and skinny, but that freaking cape is huge. He's got to be a tall freaking figure, man. Oh, there's so much stuff going on back here. Okay, so let's get Sylvie out of the packaging. I'm so worried I'm going to freaking lose accessories when I start throwing boxes away back here tomorrow or whenever I get to it. I should have been smarter about this. All right, do we get Sylvie. Do we get her? By the way, I hate the way the cape goes around the arms, and you basically just have her standing stationary like this, vanilla, because of the fact there's not much you can do with that cape. Do we see Sylvie in this movie? She's MIA. There she goes. She's MIA. We know that the last time we saw her, she killed um, basically the version of Kang from her universe. Um, will we see her in the movie? Do we get an update from her? Do we see Loki? I do not have the Loki figure. I never saw it on clearance, so I never bought it. Although now that I have Sylvie on clearance, excuse me, and I have the next guy on clearance, I probably need Loki as well. Again, I'll buy MCU when they're cheap. I just don't want to go crazy with the whole MCU shelf unless they're inexpensive. Um, yeah, wrestling figures, ringside collectibles for sure. I learned it from Four Feathers. It's like that old commercial from back in the 90s, the drug commercial. I learned it from watching you, Dad. I learned it from watching you. That's what I feel like, right? Um, yeah, so Sylvie, do we get her? Okay. And I'm trying to rush through. We're almost done with the unboxings here. We're almost at the end. I can't believe we squeezed all these in. And you know where I'm going with this. There he is. Wow. Wow. I can't do it right, okay? There he is. Mobius. Loved him on the show. Again, I hate to say it. $7. It was $6.99 on clearance. Had to pick him up for that price. I'm a sucker for suited bodies anyway. So let's see if Sylvie stays on her feet. I don't think it's going to happen. Um, is there any possibility we get the bleed through from these different shows from Disney Plus, right? I feel like it's the perfect opportunity to bring them in. I think earlier, whoever had mentioned about Kang showing up, I think there's a very good possibility we get something with Kang. He's the next big bad that's going to be in the Wasp and Ant-Man Quantum Verse or whatever the hell it's called. So it makes sense. He's known for moving around. By the way, other prediction, by the way, here. Kang might have been in some hieroglyphics during Moon Knight. If you didn't know, Kang, these suited bodies, I like them, but the feet suck. If you didn't know, Kang actually at one time was Rama Tut, I believe, from Egypt. So he did have an Egyptian background through his many different backgrounds. So we might have possibly had some mentions of him that we just didn't notice. He's not going to stand. I got to heat these feet up. But do we get these two? Do we get these two in the movie Multiverse of Madness? It could freaking happen. That's all I'm saying, right? That's all I'm saying is that it could happen. Probably will not. Whew, guys, gals, people, that was a lot of stuff to freaking open. We got through all of it. I can't freaking believe it. When are you seeing Multiverse of Madness? That's the last question I want to ask people tonight. Also, so when are you seeing it? And in addition to when are you seeing it, are there any possible cameos that I've left out that you think could happen? I wish I had what do you call, a wave runner to put him on, right? They really did his hair gray either. Okay, so who's seeing it? When are you seeing it? I am seeing it tomorrow, immediately when I get out of work. I'm happy we got through the chat tonight without anybody coming in and spoiling it. Long story short, when I watched the chat for the Iron Man 3 premiere years ago, somebody ruined it, the whole Trevor Slattery thing on me, so I knew it going, which pissed me off. Four feathers, that's what I figured, my friend. We tend to be on the same page at these things. Lee says, do you have any tips on how to tell which Hasbro is real and fake? Yes, I do. So if you didn't know this, action figures always have a barcode on them somewhere, if they're legit. Usually with Legends, it's on the thigh or the foot. I'm actually not seeing one on Mobius. I don't know where the hell they put it. So also on the bottom, they'll have a stamp with the year it came out. You can't really see this right here, but the feet will have the company and the year. And actually, there's the barcode. So they used to put it for Legends on the inside thigh, which pissed people off because it obviously for figure photography. So I don't know when they started doing it or if they always do, but there is a barcode there on the foot. And then also you will see here that you will get the name of the company. So we have Marvel, Hasbro 2021. So anytime like when they reproduce a figure or something, it's cool to check that out and see if you're getting the original or if you're getting something different. So all right, everybody. So I'll be seeing this tomorrow. I can't wait. Next week, we'll probably do some sort of spoiler talk about it. If people, want to do that or whatever, I'd be up for it, obviously. I don't know. He's breaking his leg. I'm trying to do something with him that's not going to work. So essentially, next week, we'll talk more about this film. Any last closing comments from anybody of characters you want to see I really want Phil Coulson. I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see. Greg says I was waiting for Mobius to be clearanced. Greg, again, I got lucky, man. You know, it's all about luck, right? We always say persistence, patience, and politeness, right? There are our slogans here. Moms and Poppy says he's seeing it on Friday. RL seeing it Sunday morning. Gone toy hunting Thursday night. Four Feathers, I finished it today. Let me know what you think when you finish it. You don't need to see Moon Knight in order to go to see this movie, by the way. There's nothing that is going to make you cause you to have any problems with that. Punisher. Oh, I didn't talk about Punisher, did I? But I want the Dolph Lundgren version of Punisher, right? That's who I want. Give me Dolph Lundgren. If you didn't know this, the first Punisher movie had Dolph Lundgren in it from back in the 90s. Seriously, I tend to forget that not everybody has always liked Marvel and not everybody is old like me. Just do a deep dive, everybody. Do some research and just type in Marvel Comics films or Marvel Comics movies and go back and see how bad some of the early ones were, and really appreciate how far we've come as fans. These TV companies have come, movie companies have come to give us what we get. All right, so there are our three Doctor Stranges to close out the night. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out tonight. I was so excited. I'm glad we got the audio situation taken care of. I apologize if my voice sounds a little bit muffled with these headphones. I'm hoping to go back to the internal mic in the phone sometime soon. That's my ultimate goal. Elise says, but how to tell if it's real or fake when it's sealed? If it's sealed, you're normally okay. I would say if it's sealed, usually you're okay. Greg says, I think that Kevin Fiji, however you say it, makes an appearance and says, oh, we didn't talk about zombies. I had him back there. I know we're getting zombies with Doctor Strange and Wanda, potentially. So we're getting zombies. Is the Wanda zombie from What If? All these What If characters, I have to think we're going to get confirmation these are all from What If, because that was the point of What If, was to basically float these ideas in animated form to put them in live action later. RL, oh my God, I never thought to mention him. Oh, there's just so much. James says final episode of Moon Knight was epic. I love the battle scenes. I agree. RL says this about action figures. You are showing your age, brother. Hey, dude, every gray hair in my beard I look at as a trophy. All right, we're gonna get out of here before any of these domino effect and fall over. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. If you're going to see the movie tomorrow or whenever you're seeing it, enjoy the hell out of it. Temper the enthusiasm. I never expect to see even like 10% of these characters, but it's just so much fun that we can even consider the fact that these characters could show up in a movie. If you want everybody here, hold out for Secret Wars in a few years. You're going to get the X-Men, you're going to get the Fantastic Four, you're going to get the Avengers, you're going to get everybody in that movie, because that's going to be the end game. That's going to be the next, big time movie, Infinity War, whatever you want to call it. So everybody, if you're new, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free for you. It doesn't cost you anything. Helps us grow the channel tremendously. We're trying to get to 3,000 subs. We're within like 30 or 40 right now. I'd love to get there sooner rather than later. Maybe before the beginning of June would be awesome. So we have the rest of May, hopefully. Daily toy content and daily toy updates available over at Instagram and Twitter, which I don't use a lot, but I do the Instagram a lot at disavowed_12. We're here weekly with unboxings. Usually I interact more with everybody than tonight. I was trying to get through everything, so I did not interact as much as I usually do. Leave a comment afterwards if you don't mind. The comments help. Put a comment when the video is posted underneath and just say, who is your most hopeful cameo? Who do you want to see more than anybody cameo in this movie? Could be characters we talked about here. Could be characters we didn't talk about at all. With that said, everybody, please take care. Stay healthy. Remember when you're out there toy hunting, the 3 Ps: patience, persistence, most of all, politeness. Be nice to each other out there and those employees. And I'll be seeing all of you, no, at the pegs. Bye, guys. Thank you.